We're
everything.
alive.
Yeah, we're alive, dude. Would you believe it?
Oh, it's good.
Alright, I have
Yeah, it's weird, right? Sometimes I just don't know.
Alright, I have all of my shit here already. Let me just make sure that the stream's actually called the right thing, because last time it was being annoying. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, everything is actually copacetic. We should also be live. Yep, here we go. Alright, everything's copacetic. How are you guys? Are you ready for a foray into the world of Dungeons and Dragons?
I'm
Well, I
ready
think so.
to
Beach Race back
dungeon
out now.
every
Yeah, I
single.
mean, well,
uh,
I mean, for save
Thought I was
at
going to be
least a
dragging in some
couple
dungeons.
for us, you know, it's a team effort here.
no, yeah, I get you. Don't worry, we're gonna have a great time. Alright.
Just want to let you know, guys, I've won Dungeons and Dragons like 3 or 4 times. So
Which one? Who's talking right now? Because you're really like kind of distorted.
I'm distorted. Is my microphone far away? Was that the problem? Can you hear better now?
I think it's actually on your end, Tim. Cause I can hear him actually just fine.
Can everyone else
Uh-oh.
hear? Honestly, I can't hear what Scotty's saying.
Oh no, I wasn't talking,
Yeah, no.
but
Oh, it was
I'm
me,
talking now.
bobblehead. Ryan.
Oh, okay. Weird. I was hearing sounds and Scotty's thing was glowing. Me.
Don't worry about it. Alright, so let's get right into this. Let me just get my little notes here. My little session stuff. That's the meme chat. Okay. So, I know you've all read it, but for the audience's sake, I'm going to iterate it once more. After many days of travel, in search of your next adventure, you all find yourselves within the town of Trent. Trent is a castle town in the southern parts of the Marches of Gilloy, and being that it is built along the river Mort, means that it is a major hub of travel and trade, coming from the capital of the Marches, Morthelm. There are trading posts built along the river where small watercraft may dock and unload cargo coming from upstream. The people are noticeably more educated and open here, but are still quite superstitious in many ways. The more affluent people are quite well dressed, enjoying dress wear from the other parts of the realms of men. They're also mostly traders and manor house owners, hence why they are able to afford the things that they own. Lower classmen, mostly just farmhands, woodsmen. They uh, they go to and fro along the streets in their slightly destitute lives, excuse me. Though you can argue that they are a lot more well off than the most common of commoners, seeing as they live in or around such a developed beacon of civilization in the barrenness that is the outside world. I say barren, but you've traveled this land, not many parts of it, but around enough, at least enough to make you guys
Mm.
poor, because you all are poor. And you've seen some things, but some of you, I'm sure, definitely want to see much more. Hence why you've come here, because apparently there is someone with a quest. A dwarf, as a matter of fact. Hold on, I gotta quote unquote turn the page.
Mm.
It is a dwarf by the name of Doran Irontooth, and apparently he has deciphered a map, an ancient map, that will lead him to an old mine which belonged to an absolutely ancient dwarf clan. Now, I'm a firm believer in the idea of show but don't tell, so I'm gonna cut I forget what the word is, the literary term, but I'm gonna cut the verbal storytelling and let's get actually to the roleplay. So, you guys are all in Trent proper. I wouldn't say you've necessarily met just yet, but you are in the town square and you see a dwarf, a particularly haggard-looking dwarf. Yeah, now this fellow's a bit old. He is definitely getting on in the years, and he is frantically ringing a bell, saying things like "Adventurers wanted! Adventurers wanted!" Holding up a parchment in his hands, saying, "I found it! I found it! You're not going to want to miss it!" You know, vivaciously ringing his bell. So, yeah, you guys.
I will walk up to this man and I say, "You had my attention. Now you have my interest. What name? What is your name, sir?"
And he says, he looks at you and says, "Oh, a dragonborn. Hark."
Yes, there's a few of us. Yes, but you may call me Connor, sir.
He says, "Connor, Connor.
Yes.
Is
That's
that?
kind of a weird name for a dragonborn, but
Oh, so that's not short for something."
no, sadly, it's just what the people who raised me from a baby they called me that. I don't know my birth name or anything.
He says, "Well, then that makes us two quite important and well-dressed individuals far from home, isn't that right?" He is
Well, I
not
do
well-dressed
try
at
to
all.
keep up well, I try to keep up appearances.
And while they're just gabbing about, nimbly wombleputs, I'm gonna ask you this all the time: are you drunk or not?
Wobbly is in a constant state of inebriation, but I don't necessarily know that that means that he's unaware or like plastered. You know,
Oh, no, I get you. I
he likes to
absolutely get you.
he likes to party, but he's always got a buzz going. So he's definitely got a buzz going right now.
All right, so let's
Yeah.
let's just say that the world has a fine boozy glaze over it, but it's not that bad.
Yeah. So Wobbly sees these two conversing and kind of just barges right up and hey, you're that you're that dwarf, right? You're the guy who said he's got an adventure or something.
And the dwarf is gonna say, "Hi, that be me, Doran Irontooth. Yeah, Doran Irontooth."
Yeah, I've been hearing about you. Everybody's saying you're crazy. Is that true? Are you crazy?
He says, "Ha, crazy, me.
Yeah.
What I have here, my diminutive comrade, might be the most riches you've ever seen in your entire life." And he waves it in front of your face. "You think that's crazy?"
That looks like a piece of paper to me.
He says, well, it is the key to our success, gentlemen. Now, they call me crazy, yes. They even kicked me out. But no, I'm not crazy. This is true. What we will find in this mine, it will make us surely rich, my friends."
Well, if there weren't any crazy people in the world, this world would be a very boring place to be. So even if you definitely have my services. And I look to yeah, well, that's exactly. I can't remember your character's name, the one who just walked up. Like, and
Wobbly.
what be your name?
I'm Wobbly Nimbleputt.
Wobbly Nimbleputt.
There's
Now,
a brief pause as Wobbly hawks a tremendous loogie into the street. Sorry about that.
Now,
Yeah,
is that
so
your given name or is that your chosen name?
given name. What about it?
No,
You
it
got a
just
problem
seems
with
like
it?
not at all, not at all. I just feel that your parents might have had some kind of foresight as to your future with a name like Wobbly.
He's calling you out, dude.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that you are wobbling right now as we speak. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
What's his name? Doran's gonna sort of hobble over into you and says, "I think he's having a go, mate."
I don't know what to do. I look tougher than I actually am.
He says, "Now, gentlemen, there's no need for fighting. How's about you join me in this local watering hole, and we have ourselves a drink to discuss business.
Now that sounds most agreeable.
That's something we can. It's unanimous then.
Hold on, I am opening a Word doc.
No worries.
Hey, who's that guy standing and staring at us on the corner of the street?
Yes, dark,
All
mysterious. stranger.
ominously.
Mm.
Like, through a hole in a map that he's, like, really having trouble reading.
But in the corner of your ear, right out of your vision, Marlowe, you see a glint in a nearby window.
As one who is intrigued by things that are shiny, not necessarily valuable, but shiny, we'll mayhaps have a twimst around and peer at the window.
You're going to see the silhouette of I wouldn't say silhouette, that's not like a sort of opaque vision of some kind of mysterious looking woman, and she's going to look you straight in the eye, and then sort of nudge her head over towards the dwarf. And you're gonna hear a whisper that says, "Go." Well, maybe not that deep, but you know.
Look at the dwarf. Get her and go with the dwarf. Oh, the dwarf. Of course, the dwarf. I was on my way already.
And she says, "Just making sure."
I'm getting around to it. Always behind schedule. No need to worry. Off I pop then. And he's going to stroll up to the dwarf and do that sort of thing where you stick like one leg into the frame and then like pull the rest of your body in.
Yeah.
And hello.
Where'd you come from?
I was just having a listen. You look, all of you, vastly more interesting than many of the dirt farmers I've encountered around here. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what exactly the business of here is. I noticed that you, dwarf, have a map. Could you show me where we are on this one? And he sort of holds up his, like, tattered map.
This is like one of like the general area, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And he says, he sort of looks at the map and sort of grabs from your hands and says, "Lad, I don't even know how you got there looking at this thing." And he's gonna sort of roll it up and blow his nose in it, and then just sort of like wipe his shirt off and crumple it up and throw it on the ground and says, "I'll get you a new one."
Right. Yeah, absolutely, because who needs a map anyway? What I'm getting at is your adventure that you've been yelling about loudly, your adventure, does it take me away from here? Is it far?
And he says, yes, I'd say so. Definitely far from here."
Well, that is excellent, because I've grown terribly wary of this place. Also, hello to you, Dragon Man, and little, are
We're
you
called
dizzy?
halflings.
Halflings. I'm sorry,
Ever
I've
seen one
been...
before?
Actually, I have, but sort of far removed from the way things work here, so my
Yeah, I've
apologies.
noticed.
But, you know, maybe have not the best mind, but I've been told I have a winning personality.
Are you gonna
Only
you're gonna
yes to
see
judge about that.
you're gonna see in the reflection of Doran's glasses just the same opaque female figure just facepalm.
Sort of like wince and like do the
What's
thumbs
your
up.
name then, stranger?
Albright. Marlowe, actually.
Marlowe.
Albright. Marlowe Albright.
Marlo.
Right
Albright.
then,
It's my pleasure. My name is Connor.
Wobbly nimble butts.
Connor is that's a good, strong name for someone of your stature, and your name, if I may say so, is extremely apt. Wobbly.
Yeah. Haven't heard that one before in the last 3 minutes. Look, I think first round here is on Marlo. What do you say, guys?
Well, I would be happy to indulge. I have 5 silver.
Ooh.
Oh, look at Mr. 5 Silver over here, rolling in riches.
I had much more, but the concept of money is foreign to me. But hey, what's the point in having it if you don't spend it?
He's
That's what I've always said.
Doran's gonna say the concept of riches is going to be very familiar with you indeed,
Well, if
very
the first
soon.
round's on you, then the second one will be on me. Come.
And the
come,
third.
Come.
You guys can alternate, that's fine.
Alright, so Doran's going to slap you all on the back laughing. He's going to say, I think this is the start of a very, very fruitful relationship, gentlemen.
Let's talk a little more about that fruit after we have a mug in our hands. How about that, huh?
He says, I like it already, let's go.
Mhm.
And he's going to start hip, what's that saying? Hip, bop, and a skip or whatever.
Hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah, there we go. He's gonna just fruitfully wobble his ass over to the nearest, or the watering hole that he knew was there anyway. So,
Frolicking, some would say.
yes, that's the most fantastic word I've heard for what I'm trying to describe. Alright.
As everyone enters, there is a brief moment of trepidation for Wobbly, who has been thrown out of this establishment fairly recently and is hoping that there are new bouncers that don't recognize him. He peers in and falls.
So, one second.
Well, a bit too loud, Marlowe's like, come on, come along, Wobbly, we have fruit to discuss.
Yeah, more about the ale thing, buddy. And I think the fruit's a metaphor for gold, if I understand correctly. But yes, let's get some.
Golden fruit. Now that's something I would be interested in.
What's that?
Golden fruit. Never seen it before. I'd like to see that. Is that a thing?
Probably. Rich people do all kinds of crazy shit with gold.
That's very true.
Mar like pulls out a little scrap of paper, which he has to, sit down before he can actually write on, because he has to get out a quill and ink, but he will make a note for golden fruit.
Okay, so you guys mosey yourselves over to it's a medium-sized coaching inn, reasonably high quality, decorative shutters, ornate stained glass windows on the flanking the front entrance. Receiving a lot of business, you can tell. Oak mugs clanking together as the denizens of Trent gather around to celebrate the day. Man of middle age welcomes the celebration from behind a large, fully stocked bar, his well-trimmed mustache almost as striking as the elongated scar streaking across his right eye. As luck would have it, Wobbly, the men who had tossed you out before do not seem to be on duty.
All right. So, about that first round, Mr. Golden Fruit?
Did I say the name of the book? The inn?
No,
You
didn't.
did not?
I'm sorry. It is called the Dented Buckler.
Okay.
Hmm. Never heard of a buckler. But it sounds delicious.
He says, Doran Irontooth, excuse me. He's going to find you a table for everyone to sit at, and he's going to say, Alright. Who's going on the first round? Come on, men, get your clankers out. Which is just a slang term for coins.
Yeah, coins, yeah. I've got lots of those. You'll see them later.
He kind of looks at you squarely and says, quite. And he says, Dane's gonna sit. Excuse me, Doran. Doran's gonna yell, Barkeep! Barkeep, where's the nearest barmaid? Come on! And he's gonna start banging the table really hard.
Yeah, that's what I like to
I
see.
look at the barkeep with like this very sad look on my face, because I know as a dragonborn I'll never be able to have a fancy mustache like that. and it's my life's goal to have a mustache someday.
uh, it's a level 1 goal right there. I like
Mhm. Find a potion of mustache growth.
it. Yeah. You see the barkeep, he comes on over and he says, first off, the name is Otwin. That's Otwin to all of you. Second off, Linda over here shall be your barmaid. And he sort of does that quote-unquote finger. Because this isn't one of those backwater inns you might find that have barmaids. No, these ladies are waitresses. It's a newfangled invention, you know. Nobody's ever really heard of it.
3 syllables.
Yeah. But the barmaid introduces herself as Linda Holtzmeyer, and she's going to be taking your orders. Now this again, this is a newfangled thing, not really. This is the country hicks out in the hinterlands won't really know what the hell a waitress is, but apparently, and again, this is pretty wacky. They're apparently supposed to wait your table and take your order and bring back your stuff. They even have these things called menus. I'm obviously playing around, but they get she gives you a list of the items that they have on sale for food. Now obviously Doran skips right to the beer menu or the spirits menu.
Well, I inquire about the possibility of grog. The harshest grog they have.
And Linda, she says, "This isn't some harbor inn, honey. This is the Dented Buckler.
So no grog, I take it.
I can get you an old townsman, and what an old townsman is, it is the universal designation for just like a beer. Like if you go to the reason they call it an old townsman is because you'll find it no matter how old or displaced the town is. It's if you ask for an old townsman, you'll just get the beer that they have on tap."
Okay.
Hey, as long as you're not serving the city watch, I'll take whatever you got.
So she that's an old townsman for you.
Thank you. I do a little trick. I got with my cold breath. I iced it into a nice frosty. There's a little bit of ice condensing on the outside on the top of the drink.
Cool.
Extra
Hey,
cold,
that's
like I like it.
Pretty freaking cool.
You could say that again.
I'll take 2 old
Like that.
townsmen.
Would you like them chilled?
Yeah, here.
Alright, yeah. Take his townsman's. I lightly breathe on him to get him just under freezing temp, or just over freezing temperature, I should say.
Linda looks over to you, Arlo, and she says, "A Stam Helker's for you, pretty boy." And you don't know. Obviously, you don't know what the hell a Stam Helker is.
I will have whatever the regional specialty is.
He's big on apple juice.
And she says, "Lovely Anne's kiss it is," and that is a bittersweet pale apple ale.
Sounds delightful.
Okay, so hold on. Let me actually mark that down. So that's 3 old townsmen's and a lovely Anne's.
And Marlo, real generous of you to treat on the first round here, buddy. I appreciate it.
Man.
It's a good look. That's a rare characteristic around these parts. We need more of it. So, thank you.
Well, I was always told you only get one chance to make a first impression.
And the best first
I'm sorry,
impression
forget-
is 2 beers.
Yeah, this is as far as first impression goes. This ain't bad.
Well,
One second. Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
glad I could be of service.
So yes, so Doran? Yeah, Doran. Tell us more about this. Tell us more about this map that you've come across.
And he says, "Ooh, I'm so excited. All right. Gentlemen, there'd be a range of mountains north of here. And I'm gonna mosey you guys, excuse me, over to the, let me actually get all of you to the world map over here. So as I've said before, you guys are on that flag. Now, as like that is a 1-for-1 like that's perfectly scaled, so you are right there for sure. I made sure to perfectly scale it.
Okay.
Far to the north on let me get another flag. Hold on. Probably should have thought of this before, but actually, you know what? Let me get an X to make it look cool, because we're all cool guys around here. There we
try
go.
it, guys. Only quite a bit away.
Would you believe, close to the gates of Orzal, far north of here, on this mountain, and he taps it. It's completely unnamed, so there's no defining features to it. It literally is just a big old rock. And he says, I've scoured the world for it. Well, I don't want to sound too important, so the known world. Well, my home, summer here. I'm trying to drum it up, so to keep you all interested. Fuck you. Anyway.
I'm still interested.
I mean, you said that there would be gold involved, so of course we're interested.
An ancient dwarf clan owned this old mine. Older than the oldest ones, I'd say. I think. Now, again, they call me crazy, and in hindsight, maybe they're right in some ways. But I think this might be the first mine ever created by my kind.
Be quite a find.
Indeed. Now, I'll admit, gentlemen, I am a dwarf without a hold. Kicked from it, in fact, for this.
You admit what?
Say, second, sorry. No, what happened, Connor? Tim, you good?
Did we lose Tim?
Tim has perished from this earth. You see Connor just ragdoll on the table.
T-pose.
Why is he T-posing?
Wait, no, Connor, what'd you say
Audio
before?
just cut out, so I just like, wait, no, I'm fated?
No. But, he says, hold on, let me regain my train of thought here. Oh, whoops, hold on. I am a dwarf without a hold. Kicked me from it for this obsession. And though I may agree that it is quite the obsession, I refuse to accept that it is not real. I wish to find out for myself, and I will offer you all tribute if you would accompany me. This is my life's goal now. Far removed am I from the standard conventions of dwarven culture. I seek my own destiny, and I will find it. And you all will help me.
Jeez, well, even without the gold, I would help you for the novelty alone of finding the first dwarven hold.
Mine.
Interesting. Mine? But yes,
Yeah, that sounds, not gonna lie, Doran, that sounds a little crazy. I mean, why has no one else found this before? I mean, it's not like this mountain's particularly, isolated. I mean, it's kind of far from here, I get it, but what makes you think that you found it and no one else could?
He says, listen, isn't that's the thing. It is just right there, right under our noses. Haven't you ever done that thing where you walk into a room and Wait, no, that's the other thing. No, haven't you ever done that thing where your mother tells you that something's in front of you, but you can't find it?
Yes.
Yeah.
He says, imagine this being that thing. I'm telling you, it's there. I have the strongest belief. Now, I've been to that mountain range once or twice. It's been too much of a dangerous trek. I haven't necessarily found the entrance just yet, but no, that was before, when I only had half the map. This is the full map. It has it exactly marked here.
And where'd you get this map?
And he says, south. Not too far down south, but at the base of the Black Spine Mountains. It says Black Spine, right? No, excuse me, the Black Shard Mountains.
It was just hanging out. The map was just hanging out in the mountains?
He says, I found it on some old corpses. Old dwarven corpses bearing bronze armor. Bronze! We haven't used bronze armor in over 1,000 years. More than 1,000 years.
That is interesting. So how do you expect us to find it? Do we just go to the mountain, look in every single cave we find?
He says, gentlemen, I've learned a thing or two in my time scouring the world for, well, the world. Scouring this area for this mine. When I first went there, I only had half the map. Didn't even have the X on it. A very general idea. I figured I'd just go and, well, I'd find it, but no. Something's there. I knew from the first time I went. It's hidden well. And now that I have this X, and with all the knowledge I've garnered, learning about cartography and the way to read charts and this and read the stars and all of that, no. This map, these symbols, and he sort of waves his hand on all the... Because, I mean, there are other things on the map besides the X. There's also, like, symbols and some words just... They're in Dwarvish. They kind of just say, like, you know... Hidden wealth, treasures untold, you know, stuff like that. It's not, like, necessarily like a riddle or anything. It's just the scrawlings of someone who had actually made the map.
It's written in Dwarvish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are definitely words.
But he points and says, it's what they mean. I truly believe the circumstances are right to find this, and we will find it.
I know you said that like it's just regular words, but I want to see if I speak Dwarvish, so I want to kind of see if there's some kind of pattern in the wordings that I might be able to recognize.
Let me think. That might garner. I mean, to read them, yeah, but to see some kind of like pattern that might garner a check of sorts. I'd say, wait a sec. Why don't you roll me? Oh God, it's the first legit roll of the game, guys. Watch it be like a...
Okay.
Yeah, why don't you roll?
Boy.
I'd say that would be Yeah, you're trying to merge clues together, so I'd say that would be an investigation check.
For some reason, investigation isn't in my skills.
Yeah, sometimes
So,
it's like
oof.
I don't know why.
So
Sometimes it
try-
doesn't
try,
generate.
Go into intelligence. It's intelligence based, right?
Yes. If
I'll
you're
just
not
go with-
proficient, then don't worry about it.
Okay, I'll just go with intelligence.
Oh, you don't have any. Forget it. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to put in my proficiency. I'll have to do that later.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, just roll. It's just straight intelligence.
Okay. Don't feel me now. Nope. I get a nosebleed trying to read it. Oh God, my head.
He rolled the 4, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Well, that's I
Well,
mean, it's
we're likely to go up from here. You can get lower, but you can get much higher.
Oh, whoops. One
What-
second, hold on.
what are your thoughts on this, Mr. Golden Marlowe, was it?
Yes. Yes.
You've been kind of quiet.
I'm having a think. I'm thinking. So, my understanding of mines is that they're underground.
That
Yes?
is generally true. Yes.
And so a mine could theoretically be hidden underneath a mountain. And I've never personally looked for anything underneath a mountain.
How much of that did you drink?
I actually haven't started yet, but I'm excited to try it.
Oh boy, this is gonna get interesting. Yeah, have a couple sips and let's see what you come up with next. I guess.
So,
Look here, Doran. This is all fine and dandy. You know what? I'd love to know what compensation might be involved upon our discovery of such a magnificent treasure trove. But more importantly, I think it would be prudent for us. And Wobbly is dribbling spittle and ale with every consonant that he utters. I believe it would be rather prudent for us to understand what kind of payment up front we would have for. Are we delivering you to this location? Are we locating it and reporting back to you? I mean, what's the deal?
Men, I asked for your escort to the location. That is it. From there, you may leave me as I delve into the mine and find whatever it is may be in there. I will, of course, bring whatever treasures I find in there as soon as I find them, or you can join me as I delve inside. The choice is yours, but all I ask is for an escort there.
And is there some kind of payment up front on that, or?
And he says, oh, yes, of course. And he says, starting out, and well, and he has a little coin purse on his person, and he sort of is, scrummaging through it, and he says, as a matter of good faith, and for hearing my tale of woe, here, and he shovels out. He gives you a pair of gold pieces each.
Hey, I got something I can rub together.
He says, yes, indeed. Now, this is, of course, just the deposit. but,
Oops.
but, he says, to see if we are truly compatible as travel partners, I'm hoping that you will help me do a couple of errands in this area. And then by the end of them, we'll see if if traveling together is something that we're all still interested in. Doesn't that make sense?
How long have you been looking for people to go with you to this mountain?
A couple of months, I'd say, so far.
How many takers have you had?
Honestly, none. Well, I had one, but they robbed me. I haven't seen them since.
Oh?
That was a spirit breaker.
but on the bright side, 3 in the span of 5 minutes. That's serendipity.
Indeed, it's true.
Ooh, that was a good one. 5 syllables.
I do occasionally pontificate matters of great illusion to make myself appear smarter than I actually am.
I can learn a thing or two from you.
He says, one might even say that the fates have a hand in this meeting.
Hmm.
You're gonna.
Well,
I'm sorry. Say again.
fate does have a way of steering you when you don't expect it. And fate can be kind of judgy. But that's neither here nor there. And I believe you about the mine, by the way. I once misplaced my entire home. And
How do you lose a home?
it happens where I'm from. Things appear and disappear all the time. And you're late. Always late because, You go down one road, and then the road's not there anymore when you turn around. It's
Yeah, about that.
Sounds very confusing place.
You made it pretty clear you're not from around here. Where are you from?
I would show you on my map that I had if I had my map, and also if it was on the map. It's hard to describe, but maybe you'll get to visit someday, and I will speak more about it later when we have time.
So these errands you were talking about. So, I mean, I got nothing to do today, so I got time to kill.
Doran's going to say, yes, well, let me just get my little journal book here. Yes, preparations are in order. Now, I've decided, well, I've already put down some money to get some pack animals and a carriage that we may use to travel. There's that. Now, I've heard in this area that there is a lovely group of people, some bona fide humanitarians, one might even say, that are willing to part with some medical supplies for very cheap.
Okay then. So I'm
Indeed.
assuming get some potions and whatnot. So, I mean,
Yes.
what kind of fool goes on an adventure without some potions, though? Really, though.
Indeed.
These aren't the kind of pushy, shovey, kumbaya religion nutsos, are they?
And he says, well, apparently they worship a dead person.
Yeah, I knew it.
Look, they have their beliefs, and I'm sure they're just as valid as yours.
As long as it doesn't affect how they treat people, I'm fine with religion.
Oh, no, you'll expect some fine treatment from these folk. They're in a place called a Long Way Abbey. And I direct your attention to the castle marked number 6. That is Long Way Abbey. Just up the road.
Hey,
Okay.
Doran, you wouldn't happen to know where I might be able to purchase a flask around here, huh?
Like a flask of any, like a type of alcohol, or just like a flask to hold stuff?
like a flask for consuming spirits of a yet ascertained name.
And he says, possibly, wait, hold on. And he's gonna yell over to, Otwin. And he's gonna he's gonna wobble over to the, to his bar, and he's gonna say...
Doran!
He's
Do
gonna,
the waiter thing.
He says, yeah, right. And he was already there, and he's gonna run all the way back to the table. And Otwin's just gonna sigh really heavily. And he's gonna say, waitress! And,
Her name's Linda.
yeah, Linda's gonna swagger on over and say, yes.
You got any anything for the road, or any flasks, anything like that? I might be able to, just
She asks you if you just want the bottle, or like you want
no,
something
like
in
a
it.
flask. I need a flask. I seem to have misplaced mine.
No, I'm sorry. I said the word bottle, but do you want just the container, or you want something in it?
Oh yeah, why don't you fill it up with I don't know, what's your well liquor? What do you give me something cheap and dirty.
You said cheap and dirty.
Yeah, cheap and dirty.
She says, all right, and she's going to hurry on over to the back room. She's gonna clip into the back rooms.
Sorry, that was important. What were we talking about again? I can't really remember.
Going to see Addie.
Yes, going to the Abbey and getting medical supplies. Was that what you wanted?
Yes, fresh bandages, medicinal herbs, stuff for a cough. Very
Sounds
important.
useful. Yeah.
All right.
Things.
You ever coughed before, Marlowe?
I. Yes, I have. Is that uncommon here?
Yeah, let's say, like, who hasn't coughed?
I don't know. I'm just. Yeah, you seem like an unusual fella. I was just curious.
I mean, it's certainly frowned upon where I come from. You know, it's impolite. But
Oh, lovely.
That's a
I
sign
mean-
of affection where I come from.
is it now?
Yeah, let me see your. Give me your best.
All right. As we're building bridges here, so he's gonna do his best loogie. And he does like take a sip of the drink first, and then just spits that out.
Yeah, we'll workshop it. We'll
He's
workshop.
got the spirit. You got the spirit.
Got the
He's
idea,
spirit.
yeah.
Give him a pat on the back.
In the reflection in the puddle on the floor, you're gonna see the female figures just go on and say, "You're doing great."
He's gonna do like sort of a weird, awkward like bow while he's sitting at the table. You know, like the hand twist, like
Yeah.
royal bow.
Yeah, you don't do that after you. Like I said, we'll workshop it. You
Yeah.
making
I
progress.
have a
learning.
feeling that there is much we can learn from each other.
All right. Now the end goal for our errands is to get to Morthelm, because I've heard word about this place. It's some interesting things have been transpiring in the recent years. Getting around might be a little bit more difficult than we hope.
Interesting. How?
Well, apparently the ruler of these lands, some old git named Martin Ulker, the first, and as soon as he says Martin Ulker, the whole bar just starts kind of shuffling around and goes silent, and Otwin just you hear him audibly slam down a mug and look at for whoever said it.
Oh, I don't think they like that name. Maybe he should be the one who's not named. He who shouldn't be named.
The guy we shouldn't talk about.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
You're gonna hear some I'm sorry, second.
So this guy we shouldn't talk about. I'm guessing he's just bad news, huh?
Wait, what was his name again?
The guy we shouldn't talk about. I forget too. I begins with Martin. Was it Martin?
Martin Ulker, right?
Yes. Yeah. There we go.
Was it Martin Ulker? Was that what it was, Doris? Martin Ulker?
Look over at Mara. I was like, oh, we might have made a mistake.
What?
This
I mean nothing. I mean nothing by it. We're busting balls, right?
Otwin's going to Otwin's gonna say from across the rooms. He's gonna say, "Gentlemen, relax." And then before he's able to say anything else, a pretty beaten up looking man and looks to be in some kind of like how should I say? In a pair of decrepit looking leathers, like leather armor, with a pauldron, like a single steel pauldron. Reasonably well armed. He's got daggers and a short sword on his utility belt, and some what looks to be some kind of a weapon, like three weights with like rope around them. Like sort of, it looks a little strange. You can't really tell what it is bundled up, but he's got it at its side, like on his hook to his like gold belt, and he spits on the ground and
Takes
he likes
instinctively
us.
spits.
spits on the ground like near you guys and takes a sip from his old townsman and says, "Woe to anybody who speaks the name of Ulka around these plots." And he says, looks at you all and smiles and kind of laughs a bit and says, "Not from around here, are you?"
No, what? What's wrong with Martin Ulker?
Oh God.
What did Martin Ulker do?
And he says,
Why? Are you always like this? You just like intimidating?
I,
Like
I,
frustrating people?
I don't know who this guy is. Who's Martin Ulker? Everybody's making such a big fuss.
Well,
Jeez.
using my social acumen developed over the years, I believe this, what is it, Martin Ulker fellow, he is a matter of some contention.
Yeah, nobody's explained it to me yet. Just want to know who Martin Ulker is.
I'm
Why does
assuming he's a
everybody
man.
hate Martin
know
Ulker? It's kind of a
He's like a bad
catchy
guy.
name.
it is catchy. But anyway, the man, he says, he's kind of just laughs at your little, what he thinks is a little bit of a performance here, and says, listen, Martin Ulker's the ruler of this land, and let me tell you, he's possibly the nastiest, meanest tyrant you've ever met in your entire lives.
And you say master, do you mean like he's a baron, or is he like a bandit captain?
He says, no, fool! And he stabs his short sword in front of you, and he says, he's the lord of the Marchers. Marcher Lord!
For him?
Wait a second.
Well, I
I look
didn't
at
vote
sword, I
for
think,
him.
wow, this nigga's hard.
I don't
Wow,
believe you
wow.
vote for a marcher lord.
A bit of history. Actually, no, you know what? I am a firm believer in show, don't tell. So I'm going to keep showing. And if there's any telling you need me to do, I will clarify. He's going to say, long line of warrior kings. Leader of all the barons in this realm. You'd best watch your back. Hope that he hasn't got any ears in this tavern. 'Cause if
What, does he not like his name or something? Like, jeez.
You don't like his name being spat out by fools who don't know their place.
I'll like raise my voice, like, I'll be the one to let you know that I have only said his name once, and that's all I gotta say on the matter.
That's worth at least one spell of 100 years in prison.
Oh, son of a bitch. So wait, so what are we supposed to call him then? Just Marsh Lord?
And he says, call him what you like, but always watch who you're talking to about him with.
Okay.
And watch what you say, too.
And who are you?
And he says, you'll see me again. Name's Tom. And
What a
he's
nice
gonna
name.
he's gonna flick a couple of jingles onto the table where he was sitting at, and he's saying, if you be getting to Longway Abbey, I suggest doing it during the daytime. And he buggers off.
Well, now I have to do it for nighttime just for novelty alone. Nah, just kidding. So Doran, is this what not Abbey? Is that the only thing you need us to do, or is there other things like in town?
And he says, well, and he's definitely a little flustered by that whole encounter. He says, well, the reason why we need to go to the Marcher Lord's palace in Morthelm is because, well, I have a feeling I know who that was. That's one of the Marcher Lord's. Whoops, I had the name. Oh, yep, there it is. That was one of the Marcher Lord's road wardens. You see, gentlemen, the road wardens are one part excisemen and another part security force. I've heard about them in these parts. If you've got any carriage of goods, then any time you see them, you need to give them 5 silver as a tax on his roadways. They're supposed to keep them safe, but I've heard they're nothing but petty thugs.
Shameful.
He says, Doran says, I'm sorry, gentlemen. In hindsight, I realize that this might be a little bit more trouble than I might have mentioned.
Well, trouble seems to follow me around, so I've gotten used to it.
And he says, if at any time you feel as if this little soiree into my obsessions is too much, just
ask for more gold. That's what I was thinking.
and he says, yes, indeed. Now, of course, make sure that I have enough gold to give you. We have to go to Martin Ulker's palace and request what the locals around here have called a writ of passage. Now, this writ, it allows me to bypass the tax that the road wardens give on goods coming to and fro along the roads.
Very useful.
Yes, very, very useful. It will make it so I don't break the bank traveling to this mountain.
Yeah, you'd probably lose money if you didn't get that.
Yes.
We gotta get that from this guy that everybody hates.
He says, well, yes. Now, I've met my share of tyrants. Believe me. And one thing that tyrants love is gold. So, I say we give him a cut of the gold and, well, promise him a cut of the gold at least. And he might acquiesce us, as long as we do not look imposing in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Wait, so if that guy was one of his guards, why did he refer to him as a tyrant? It's like, you know, when your employees don't respect their manager, everything just falls apart.
I mean, did you see how that guy was dressed? I think they're both probably compensating for something.
Mm.
Fear is a powerful motivator.
and he says, Otwin, he sort of moseys on over to you guys and says, "Whew, you boys are lucky to be alive."
How so?
He says,
Because of that guy?
I think that every day.
he says,
Aw.
that was Tom. He's one of the most popular road wardens around these parts. He must have thought you all particularly entertaining or something, or else you all would have been reported by now.
Why is he
Well-
popular if he's such a dick?
He says, well, if you get on his good graces, then chances are that your goods and your family won't go disappearing after you've badmouthed Ulka like you all have just done.
Oh, no.
I didn't say anything about him. I just asked who he was. Jeez, you guys are so defensive.
I don't know, maybe it's like a sign of disrespect to be saying his name over and over
up.
and over. Maybe there's like a limit of like how many times you can say his name per hour, and you went through like 3 days worth.
Yes, but he says, wait, go on.
I don't know. Okay.
No,
And
yeah, go on.
names can hold great power. It's throwing them around like that is that's not something we do back home.
Otwin says, listen, lads, it's your business is well appreciated, but I'm going to have to ask you to, and he sort of does that thing with his hands when he wants you to kind of hurry up.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on my flask.
And he
Is
said,
that why they call them waitresses? Because it takes forever?
and he says, Linda, you can come out. And you notice not only has you actually start to notice now that not only has Linda gone, but all the waitresses were gone while you guys were talking about Ulker, and they all just sort of come from out of the back rooms, sort of peer out and say, some of them say like, "Is he gone?" Otwin, they're obviously very spooked by him. And Linda actually has your flask with you, and says,
There we go.
We apologize for any anxieties that we may have caused.
This is
You are-
comped, right?
and
I mean, I waited like 15 minutes for this.
he says, just take it if it'll make you all just scurry out faster, please.
I leave one gold coin on the table. Was like, sorry for the troubles.
Holy shit.
I'm a generous man.
The food and drink was actually, I know you, hold on, the drink all, like in total was actually 18 gold. No, it was,
Oh, no.
if we're talking seriously, it was actually only 18 CP, but anyway.
Okay.
But
Oh, in that case, oh damn.
no,
Ask
but
for some change.
but Otwin, he says, obviously Doran, he gathers up his stuff and he drinks his old townsman and leaves the money. And Otwin says before you guys leave, he says, listen, Martin Olker is not your friend. His promises are hollow, and anything bad you've heard about him is true. And for the
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, a quick survey of everybody that just witnessed what happened here. Who thought Martin Olker was our friend? Did anybody walk away from that conversation? Yeah, he seems like a pretty nice guy.
Oh no.
It's just important that you remember. And if you have any women in your family that are in this area, in this town, or just around you, or just someone who you love or appreciate, and Tom has seen them, and has heard you or seen you do this, or anything like it in the future, just get them away from you, or just get them somewhere safe, okay?
Why?
Just believe me.
I've met men like this before. I know how to deal with. Or at least I know how to avoid them and not cause any confrontations unless absolutely necessary.
Olka likes women. He likes them a lot. Just take heed of what I say. And he's gonna shut the door to the dented buckler, and people are gonna go back to their quote-unquote merrymaking.
Well, that was fucking ominous.
Yeah, this town sucks.
Well, that's
Wouldn't go
part
that
of the
far.
reason
don't
why
even
I wanted
remember
to
how I got-
travel
Sorry,
far
go
away.
ahead.
Wait, hold
I mean,
on. Yeah,
That's why I'm traveling.
yeah, Scotty, you go.
Oh, I mean, this town is quite terrible. That's why I was excited to travel far, far away.
I don't even remember what I did to get kicked out of there last night. But I'm sure it was more entertaining than what we just had to deal with. Oh my gods.
Well, maybe there'll be more entertainment at this Abby person.
Well, yeah, well, we should probably talk about that, right? Doris was... It looks like there's two avenues of approach here, yeah? We can go straight to the Abbey and get these medicinal supplies, or maybe we should... Do you think we should try to get this writ of passage from the Marcher Lord before that so we don't get taxed on the way? I mean, I just got 2 gold pieces. I don't want to give... What is that? A lot of it away.
10%.
Yeah, 100%.
10%. Maybe. Maybe math. I got an intelligence of 10. I know what I'm doing.
Arithmetic, who knows it? That's basically what I think in this time period, quote unquote, arithmetic was basically like a blanket all term for like all mathematics or something like that, but whatever. Anyway,
No,
Doran is going to say, yes indeed, well, the thing is, the Marcher Lord's all the way in Morthelm, which is skidoosh right there.
Where are we on this map here?
You guys are on the flag right here, skidoosh.
Okay.
Now, I've heard the locals say that traveling up the river is not possible. Well, not by boat, but, just along the coast of it. Not possible.
Oh.
We wouldn't last a day out there, apparently. Now, lined all along every bank of that river are bandits, the most organized you've ever seen. Apparently, they have this very sophisticated way of hooking large hooks onto passing traveling boats and heaving them up to shore. They've even trained ogres to do it for them.
Maybe they should stop investing in road wardens, get some river wardens.
He says,
Hey, I like that.
Doran says, based on what I've heard about this Ulka, those bandits are surely in his pocket.
That's shameful.
Yes.
All right, so
I'll heed
I
your
guess
warnings, though.
I guess that leaves us with heading straight to the Abbey. Then, are you coming with us, Doris, or?
He says, I will. As a show of good faith, I shall accompany you on every step of this journey, except for the extremely dangerous parts.
Well, I guess it
Fair
can't
enough.
be bad if you're coming with us. Then.
I mean, he is paying us, so I would assume he'd be taking the most dangerous ones. Now, are we going now? What if we were to get set upon by, let's say, bandits or wolves? Are you able to defend yourself?
He says, yes, indeed, but I, that was the main part of the mission I'd hoped you would take care of, especially. Now, I do have some manners of personal defense, and he does take out a dagger, and he says, but I should say that my job in my hold was not particularly combative, if you know what I mean.
You don't say.
He says, I was a scholar. I was a record keeper.
Would have never guessed.
He says, so while I trained with use of the warhammer and other similar weapons, I've never needed to use them.
Let's keep it that way. Let's try to have some smooth sailing here. Well, I guess we're taking the road, so no sailing. But no, how many days travel is this here?
Let's use our rulers. That's 10 right there. That's 10 right there. So you'll get there by nightfall.
And this is on horse or on foot?
He's got a carriage, so
Oh, okay then.
yeah, you'll be using the carriage. So that actually, I mean, that's not. It's a carriage that's been drawn, so the fastest it can probably go is like, let me think. It's definitely not as fast as like a riding horse. Like, because obviously a riding horse is not really burdened by too much.
Well, I mean, did you guys have any other sightseeing that you needed to do here in beautiful, scenic Trent?
Trent.
No, the bar was pretty much all I needed to see.
There is other stuff here.
Oh, there's that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, is there
I'm hoping
any
it's
other
like
errands
stock
that we need to run before we head out, or I mean, you got some cash to spend now. Anything anybody needed, or no?
I got the DMG right here.
You know what? I'm going to save my coin for just a little while longer until we get to the Abbey. I think I'm gonna risk it.
I'm going to have to put on my blue light blocking glasses, because holy shit. Ignore me.
Okay, yeah, your blue glasses. What?
No, my blue light blocking glasses, because this DMG's rendering is really bright.
Oh, fair enough.
I don't believe I need anything. All of the monuments and sightseeing that I came here to do has been utterly disappointing. I'm really hoping this first mine ever will, I don't know, be somewhat inspiring.
Postcard worthy at the very least, right?
Mm.
Postcards are a
Definitely.
thing, I'm assuming.
Like, what is that? Sounds wonderful.
And Doran's going to say, "All right. So I'm going to gather my things. I'm going to get my is my fixings from the local caravanserai, and we're going to head out." And he's gonna say before he moves, he's gonna basically tell you to meet him at the northwestern gate, and before he goes, he's gonna say, "Gentlemen, you have my oath as a dwarf that no matter, in every single instance of this journey, I will stand by your side. In sickness, death, and health, I will fight with you. And well, while my fighting will not necessarily be the most effective, you certainly have all my skills as a scholar and a man of the arts. And
Take out all the bits about fighting, and it kind of sounds like you just gave us your wedding vows.
I will say in Dwarven, well said, brother. You have my skills.
Is there no fighting in weddings here? In marriage? It
There
is
should be.
customary to fight throughout
Oh,
the marriage.
there's
that I've gone.
absolutely there is. It's actually encouraged at any good halfling wedding. But
Well,
Yeah, I've never been
wonderful.
to a wedding without a few fights.
And your word as a dwarf sounds important. Am I understanding that correctly?
Oh yeah,
this
they're
is
very
this is
honor
coming
bound.
from the guy who said the weird, creepy, mystical thing about names having power. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, they do.
Okay, just making sure that tracks. Okay, let's get your horse and stuff and let's go. Come on, I'm getting bored.
Fantastic. All right. I can keep going, but would you guys like to take a quick 5-minute break?
That sounds
Well,
lovely.
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right. Awesome.
Great.
Break time. 5 minutes. In
I'll
3,
be back.
2, 1. Break time. There we go. All right, we're back.
Flippin' heck yeah.
Since we're back, I just want to read some of the comments that we've got from the audience, from my usual viewer Samhain. He's I guess the thing that sticks out the most is only been 5 minutes and I'm loving this. Yeah. Who wants
Glad you're
to?
enjoying it.
Yeah. Who wants to drink with the crazy, drunken, mentally unstable, hammer wielding dwarf?
It is tradition.
I think who wants to drive or who wants to drink?
I have my white wine spritzer and it's not that good, but it has its moments. So let's continue. All right. So to Trent. Let me just swap out my music right here. Okay. So Doran's gathered up his draft creatures and the thing that they're, pushing. He's got his supplies for the journey. Or the supplies he's gathered so far, like emergency food stocks and stuff like that. Rope, a tent. His stuff, stuff that he has on him.
Just in case.
Exactly. The flint and steel, there's actually a small anvil he has around. Because, all dwarves know how to do some very rudimentary, like armor and weapons upkeep. You never know when you need to bang something into shape every now and again.
So whatever craft animal he has, I'm immediately gonna go up to it and I'm going to pet it. I pet everything.
It's just a pair of reasonably high quality looking mules.
Oh, look at that big boo.
Do the animals here talk?
If you listen real close.
That's how it works back home
Or
too.
if you drink enough. Or if they drink enough. Then then they definitely talk.
And Doran says, well, gentlemen, he gets on top of his carriage. He says, we've got quite a long road ahead. Why don't we get to it?
5 more minutes. No, I get on.
5 minute break in 3, 2. He says, he sort of cracks the horn. He sort of cracks the reins. The guards let you through the gate. And they pass by. They sort of wave to you. And,
Bye-bye.
and onward ye go, ye brave men. Okay.
It's been a while since I've been in a carriage. It's a nice feeling.
And he says, "Oh yeah, you guys are getting the fancy treatment." And Doran sort of chuckles a bit.
Spared no expense, I can see. I've been hanging out on my own for a good few years, so it's nice to have. I can't. I'll call them peers. I only just met you guys, so I'll call you all peers. Nice to be around peers again.
Yes, I've had lots of assignments before, but I've never been on an adventure, so I'm looking forward to it.
Ooh, nice.
Who did you work for?
Well, I worked for a lady carrying out various dealings, meetings, that sort of thing. I suppose the closest thing you would have would be...
Doran cuts in and says, "A prostitute?"
No, what? No.
That's what I was gonna say.
There's no shame in it, boy.
No, I mean, like, you got the looks for it, not gonna lie.
I mean, I don't think that's the word for it here.
Helper?
I meant
Assistant?
actual dealings. Ambassador or...
Hey, don't knock on their work. It's actual dealings.
If you insist, well, I'll get back to you when I find a more apt description for my previous employment. But suffice it to say, it took me here and there, and never really had time to do my own thing.
And
How long ago was this?
oh, go on.
I've been wandering semi-aimlessly for a little over a year now, since my position was, I don't want to say terminated, but my indentured debt was completed.
Mm-hmm.
So you
I,
were a prostitute.
Doran leans over and says, "Let him come to it on his own."
I know. I think they're called gigolos in their males.
Courtesan, prostitute, whore. The many words.
I prefer the term ambassador.
Companion?
You know what I always say? Can't have an ambassador without an ass.
Ooh.
Anyway, couple of hours into the travel, and Doran's just going on about stories from his home. He says, Iron Keep. The most generically named keep. Fine place, I'll tell you.
What was the name of the keep again? Sorry. Blanked it.
Iron Keep.
Iron.
They keep a lot of iron there, or
Oh, yes, how'd you know?
wild guess.
And he says, the walls in my place of work were lined with scrolls detailing our magnificent history. Now, if we were a smaller hold, trust and believe, they wouldn't have kicked me out so easily, but it's interesting. You notice things, they grow up around you, get old and developed and all that, and suddenly you feel so small. Suddenly I had no more use in that little place. Well, that big place, but it
Didn't you get kicked out?
Yeah, go on.
Didn't you get kicked out?
He says, well, yes. No, but that's the thing, I thought I was useful. I thought I was loved. But no. They just sent me away.
Threw you out like
For-
yesterday's jam.
Well, I've always been told that when you love something, you set it free. Perhaps they were just allowing you to pursue your own interests.
He says, well, they could have done that without the rotten fruit.
They threw fruit at you?
Fruit and other things.
Oh, no. I can only imagine.
And gifts of food are bad here.
No,
yes?
not-
Then
When thrown,
when thrown.
as most things are.
And it is to express displeasure?
Have you ever had a tomato thrown at you?
I
Marlon?
can't say I've had the pleasure of that experience, no.
He
Got
said,
any tomatoes, Doran?
and he says, they're all dried, but yes.
Where are they?
He says, he sort of just points in the back, and he says, if you want one, I'd have to stop though.
Oh no, it's fine. I can get it. Keep going.
Are you gonna kind of just shimmy on the side of the carriage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Better a tomato than a turnip.
I said, oh,
Like they're hard, man. You gotta boil them for like 3 hours if you want to eat them.
if someone's throwing a turnip at you, lad, you better hope that it's rotten.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen goblins get their skulls caved in with turnips.
Oh man.
Dastardly devices, those.
The most dangerous of vegetables.
I'll tell you. Funny story.
I love stories.
I heard from me brother that he and his company, because he's a part of the Royal Guard, held up in this far-out outpost. All they had were a ballista, and a couple of handful of dwarves, and the rations, which happened to be a dozen barrels full of turnips.
Turnips. I knew it.
Lo and behold, same night that they got the turnips, about 2 dozen ogres assault the place. And boy, I'll tell you, they came in with 12 barrels, and by the battle's end, there were only 4 left.
So I just threw all the barrels. So I'm guessing. Would have been great if they like not exploded, but like broke apart midair, sending multiple projectiles instead of just the one.
And he says, now I'll just say this: a turnip, when launched from a ballista, is unpleasant. The things it can do to a ogre. I said ogre, right? Yeah, I said the things it can do to an ogre's skull. Oof.
It's at this point that Worley whips a dried tomato from the outside of the carriage at Marlowe's.
Marlo, you've had. Imagine having a. Now these things are dried and they're also they're a little sticky and hard. So imagine having like basically a. Jeez, let me think.
Like when they take like a slice of cheese and you like slap it on your cat's head.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like that.
Now imagine if it was wet.
Sort of like slowly turns his head and goes, "Ah, I believe I understand, and I'm happy to be included."
You're one of us now. One of us. One of us.
You okay, Connor?
No, it's just something we used to do.
Tomato?
Yeah, here. Yeah. I peel the tomato from Marlowe's forehead and begin to happily crunch on it, dribbling little dried seeds down my chin.
He says, "Yeah, it's good." Doran says, "Oh, it's good, isn't it?"
Oh yeah. Oh hey, you got a little bit left on your forehead, and Wobbly reaches up and smudges a little bit of dried tomato off of Marlowe's forehead and licks it. That hits the spot.
He says, "I got them downstream. They got some fine dried goods there." And he says, "If you keep looking, there's a bit of sausage. Actually, pass me one. I'm hungry."
Sausage or
Wobbly resignedly climbs back out of the carriage, gets the sausage, and brings it back in. Look, I'm not doing this the whole trip, okay? It was just for the throwing the tomato thing. As a bit, you know?
He says,
I mean, you're the most suited. You're the most well suited for it.
"Yo, Tim, I think your mic is weirding out a little bit."
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. But sometimes it sounds like you're like really close to it out of nowhere.
Oh, that's weird. Well,
It's better now.
Yeah, it's better now, so don't worry about it. Alright, so you guys get to about here, after all manner of storytelling and whatnot, to this crossroads. And Doran says, "Up crossroads up ahead. Would you pass me the map there, old boy?" He says to you, Marlo.
Marlo will like reach over to wherever the map is kept, and he's had really bad luck with maps, so he'll sort of hand it over, like for whatever it's worth.
And he's going to say, "We take a right here. Looks like. Everyone roll a... I'm sorry, it's so cliche. Everyone roll a perception check. Perception check, excuse me."
That
nothing bad can come from this.
21.
Strong.
Hold on, let me do something real quick. Cause I have it set to where people are supposed to be able to see the rolls. So hold on, just ignore this random assortment of D4s.
A 2, that's solid. 3, another 2.
God damn it.
That's a lot of spike traps.
Just give me 1 second. Hold on. I just want to make it so like they're able to see the very soonest thing in the chat log. There we go. All right. For all intents and purposes, they rolled a 21, a 19, and a 7. That's the pool of perception checks we got. And that 21 and 19 will definitely do it. From the corner of your eye, wobbly, and as you're passing over the map on the side that you're looking, are all I'm an idiot. Hold on, Marlo. You see figures sort of darting through like bushes.
Are they like humanoid or?
Humanoid, indeed, yes.
Hey, we got some company over there. I
They look
pointed
rather
out.
flighty.
I perk up at this. I was distracted by the mules because of my 7.
This is like a covered carriage.
Yes, it's not a crazy expensive looking one, but it does have like a cabin and like storage space in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And
Marlo's gonna like just lean out and sort of look at the bushes, real intensely, and be like, "Hello."
and give me 1 second, sorry.
Wobbly's gonna Scooby Doo, kind of like around the corner. You know when they all do that line around a corner. He's gonna do that up slightly above Marlo. What's out there? What are you?
Oh yeah. I was wondering like, wait, what? No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
When they all like poke their heads.
I'm on his shoulders at this.
Yeah, they're like above each other. I get you. All right, so give me 1 second. Just gotta get my proper notes. All right. Okay. Alright, fantastic. That's everything. Alright. So, Doran stops the carriage and says, sort of looks around a bit and says, oh, where did you see them?
In the bushes over there.
And he looks over and says, oh. And he takes out his dagger and says, we be meaning no trouble. Just come out and, you might even get a dried tomato. And he kind of laughs a bit and says, 3 particularly shady looking figures, one with a light crossbow and the other 2 with, falchions. They come out. The 2 guys with the falchions aren't brandishing them; they have them at their side, but the guy with the crossbow has it loaded, and he's got it at the ready. They come over and say, walk over and say, Road Warden Brigade here. We're in need of our. And he sort of brings out his hand, and he says, you know, come on. Don't want any trouble with Martin Olka, right? And the rest of the bandits.
You're not supposed to say his name.
I will say that. So you got change.
Does he look like Tom? Is he wearing like a similar uniform?
No, these guys like have a very weird looking hodgepodge of equipment and armaments on them. They don't look like Tom at all.
Where's your badge?
He says, no badge necessary. We are assuredly Ulka's men. Now, you wouldn't want any problems with him now, wouldn't you? Come on, just pay up and we'll be letting you on your way.
But how can we be sure you are who you say you are?
And he says, now, boys, we don't want this to get dangerous.
No, not dangerous at all. Question though. hypothetically speaking, if we were to have a writ of passage.
He says, a writ of passage would certainly be appreciated. Do you have one?
Yeah,
No. Yeah, yes. Wait, we do?
yeah, it's right here. And Wobbly grabs the map and kind of flashes it very quickly. Doesn't give them an opportunity to really look at what it is.
And he says, your writ is very much appreciated. And he says, screw it. Get him! And they all start unsheathing their weapons.
Oh no!
I knew it!
Surely there must be a peaceful resolution to all this.
And the guy with the light crossbow says, I told you we should have just shot at him.
Well, it's been a while since I had a good fight. Guess I'm overdue.
I said 3 guys.
Yeah. 1 crossbow, 2 scimitars.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah, good. So let me just get them out of the... First off, give me 1 second.
You can have several.
Oh, Scotty, what's your hit die?
Warlock,
I think it's a D8, I believe. Yeah, D8. It should be in there somewhere.
And what's your constitution?
+1. Oh, I didn't put the HP in.
Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna do that right now for you.
Whoop. 9.
There you go. Okay. So let's just say you guys are situated on the carriage like this. Is that's fair? Like you would basically be just there.
Sure.
And
we're outside of the carriage at this point, yeah?
yeah, you wouldn't be inside it anyway. Like there's space for you to sit with
Gotcha. Okay.
the guy on the bench there, I should say. But you notice as well wearing another. Well, I'll just reveal them all. Fuck it. There you go. You notice another one of these more unsavory-looking gentlemen peeking out from behind a tree. He also has a light crossbow. But all right. This is the part where you gentlemen roll initiative.
Oh yeah.
Make sure you click your token
I have
first.
a -1 to my initiative.
Yeah, so you guys know how to do it, right?
You gotta click your token first so it tracks it.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Big ol' 5.
It's a 17. Very solid. Oh, I need to change my character's name in the actual...
35!
No.
I know.
Imagine. Just like on some bullshit.
Plus 27 to initiative. That's some rogue shit right there.
Yes, I'm a rogue. I can't roll lower than a 36 on stealth.
Would you believe it? Arlo, it is your turn. Wail on. Marlo, sorry.
Alright. So yeah, as they all ready the weapons, he's gonna go, oh! And sort of roll back into the thing and whip out from his component pouch a strap of paper with some writing on it, and he's just going to slap it onto the back of Connor. And like for a brief moment, there's a sort of metallic shimmering over whatever he's wearing, and I'll cast a Shield of Faith with my once a day Magic Initiate. I will do that as my bonus action, Shield of Faith. And then with my main action, I will fire an Eldritch Blast at whoever the closest guy is.
These
It's
two
wonderful. Thank you.
are from you.
Yeah. Let's see. This guy up above the tree here.
Right here.
So-
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, the guy that's far away.
Fire an Eldritch Blast at him.
He's gonna try to. He's gonna think you're taking out like some kind of proper projectile weapon and use his falchion to block it, but in vain. The Eldritch Blast sort of whines and bungles around his blade and smacks him right in the chest. He's gonna go, ah!
And then Marlowe's gonna his Eldritch Blast is almost like a light that just sort of flies out and just bonks into him, and then he's just gonna snap his fingers and it's gonna race back. And then Marlowe's gonna try and tuck himself away into the back of this carriage here.
You wanna go
What
inside of
the
it?
hell was
Yeah.
that?
I'm fighting.
Yeah, I noticed. You didn't tell me you could shoot light.
We have a lot to learn. Fight. And then he'll take a step back into the like covered carriage part
Yeah.
and sort of like duck down and wait for the others to make their moves.
You're gonna see what's his Doran in there just like cowering underneath like tucking himself underneath the seat. He's gonna say, "Oh, hello."
Good. Is it evening? Evening.
The guy who just got hit with that Eldritch Blast is going to say, "Watch out, lads! They're casting spells." And he's going to try to smack you in the face with his falchion, Connor.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kool-Aid
A little
bandits.
snarl as he comes towards me.
You effortlessly parry that away.
Yeah, I give a little hearty laugh, like, try again.
He is going to try again, or one of his friends is at least. Nope. As a matter of fact, you could swear that you were a little bit too slow to deflect that, but as the falchion connects with your abdomen, like in a small gap in your armor, it's just rebounded by this flash of really strange, queer light.
Boing. I'm like, huh. I look over to Marl like, I like this one.
Yeah, he's just a thumbs up as he's like zipping his little light around, getting ready to sling it out again.
This gentleman over here with the light crossbow is going to fire it at Wobbly. The one that just had his sword reflected off of Connor's armor is going to yell at him to shoot the small one. I'm guessing a 9 doesn't hit.
9 does not hit.
That's going to whiz right over your head, Wobbly.
Because he's small.
Oh, okay. Wobbly, it is your turn to acquiesce these heathens.
Okay. Wobbly. Could Wobbly like roll back up on top of the carriage to like occupy the space directly above Marlowe, and would he be able to hit this that is standing to the south of Connor?
Yes, yes.
He's gonna do that. He's gonna take his quarterstaff and bring it down, swinging wildly with two hands and screaming. Ah! 21 to hit for 3 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, that doesn't hit, actually. No.
He'll add a little kick at the end to the guy's face. 16 to hit for 4 damage.
Using the leverage that your quarterstaff granted to you.
Oh,
The initial.
I'm
wait.
sorry. That quarterstaff damage should be it should be 2 more damage because it's taking my strength modifier instead of my dex. I can fix.
You know how to fix it? You want me to like reach in your sheet and
I
do
think
it?
I can fix it.
Okay, no worries. But yes, rebounding off of that swing, you land a heel strike right into his eye. Connor, it is your turn.
All right then. So, noticing this new shimmering armor that Marlowe gave me, I'm going to
It's Versace.
let go. I'm going to doff my shield and grab my warhammer with two hands and swing it down on this guy right here. Yeah, why not? I'm assuming that doesn't hit.
Yep, not quite.
Just swing and a miss.
He's able to parry it with the flat of his falchion. This bandit on the top is gonna say, Eric, this is taking too long. He's gonna try to come from behind you, Connor, and slip his falchion in underneath one of the straps of your armor.
Keyword being tried.
Nope. Rebounds for magical reasons.
So are we doing flanking or?
We agreed not to, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But we are doing critical damage.
That's fine.
Alright, so Marlowe, it is your turn.
All right. Marlowe is going to let's see. Oh yeah, this guy's like right next to me. Marlowe is going to
Roll down
send
the window.
his little yeah, pretty much. Like open up the window and sort of like zip his little light up and just like sort of swirl it around. Basically use the help action to help Connor.
Okay. So I've never actually used the help action. Does that give me advantage on my next attack?
I will. I have the little piece of paper that has like literally every thing on it. Hold on. So. Hold on.
I think that's yes.
Yes, give an ally advantage on next ability check or attack roll versus an opponent within 5 feet of you, if done before the start of your turn. Of your next turn, okay. Yeah, no, you're fine. So you have advantage on an attack roll against that guy.
Okay, great.
Okay, so that just costs an action, okay.
Yep, that's it.
This one right here is gonna disengage and pick up his light crossbow that he has hidden behind the tree. Load it and ready it. This one right here is gonna fire a light crossbow bolt at you once again, Connor. Skadoosh. That will hit.
Is that for me or Wobble?
That's for you, Connor.
Oh, okay.
For 5
Okay.
My
damage.
token here just so you can move if you need to, Marlo. Sorry. I'll move it back on. It's my turn.
Gotcha.
It's all good.
Like, ah, jeez, son of a bitch.
Yeah, that embeds itself right in your shoulder. Momentarily bypassing the shimmering aura around your body.
I look at the guy and says, "Your ass is grass, and I'm the lawnmower."
This gentleman, through his disoriented state, is gonna gather himself and swing a falchion at you, Wobbly.
Okay.
Swing and a miss.
Just barely.
Now it is your turn, Wobbly.
Alrighty. I think I'm gonna jump off and do a pile. We'll start with the unarmed strike on this guy. Well, no, it'll be the quarterstaff because I have to do that as the bonus action. So
Yeah.
jumping off onto him with the quarterstaff. That's a miss. I'm assuming with an 8.
Yes, unfortunately.
But I am gonna follow up with a swift kick to the back of his knee. That's a 20 to hit for 5 bludgeoning damage.
You're going to hit his knee so hard that it does that thing where the whole the whole half of his leg just bends in one direction.
Ooh, nasty.
He's gonna
Oh, that's not supposed to do that.
he's gonna shriek out in pain and slam his head against the window, breaking it. It's gonna slide off onto along the side of the carriage, just like this bloody streak, like limp, completely unconscious.
And can I take the rest of my movement to? I guess was that 5 feet of movement?
You're climbing down, so it would be half your movement.
Okay. So then I guess I have 10 feet left. 5, 10. I'm gonna try to take some cover behind this.
Yeah, I'll consider that heavy cover in between these guys right over here,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is I believe 2 AC or 3. Hold on, I can just look it up.
I think 3/4 cover
Combat
is
cover.
6 AC.
Total cover is, although can't be directly targeted by an attacker spell. No, it would be. Okay, yeah, 3/4 cover is 5 bonus to AC.
There we go.
5 bonus to AC and dexterity saving throws. Okay. Oh, lo and behold, in the description for it, it includes a thick tree trunk.
Aha!
Oh, wizards.
Or a medium one if you're a halfling.
Alright. Connor, it is your turn. Connor, you've just been shot.
All right. What's your stance on moving diagonally?
Totally fine.
Okay then.
No penalties.
Oh, but he's gonna get an attack opportunity. Well, in that case, I'm just gonna come down, just go right next to the carriage, and I'm gonna take a swing at this bad boy. And I'm not sure how to make this with advantage. Do I just roll twice and take the first damage?
That's not actually the guy that you were
wait,
helped
I
with.
see.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
I
the
thought you
enemy
wanted
has
me.
to be within 5 feet
Oh
of me.
shit! I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking.
It's all
Okay,
good.
The other guy.
No worries.
No worries.
All right, I'm going for an attack on this guy. Nope.
That's a schmiss.
Yes. Like, damn it!
You're going to completely pulverize the rock that he was next to, though.
Mm-hmm. You see that? See that? That could have been you if I wasn't holding back. Yeah. Yeah. Think about that.
He's going to swing at you with his falchion to try to see if he can savor the moment, as it were. Oop.
That's a crit fail.
Uh-oh.
Natural 1. Alright, how do you think I should handle it? Yo, Samhain, are you here? Let's see if he's here.
Oh, are we rolling with critical fails? I should have asked about that.
No, yeah, we are. Yo, what do you think should happen to this bandit who got, like, a critical failure? Like, I'm assuming you know what that means. Basically, like, he fucked up royally, so what's gonna happen to him? Like, nothing crazy. Are you guys okay with me doing this?
Oh yeah. Love audience participation.
Twitch chat knows all.
This chat knows all.
You ever seen him play Pokemon? Masterful.
Okay, so something really bad's gonna happen to this guy. What do you think should happen to him? Like, he fucked up royally, and it's his fault, so. He's currently fighting one of the players. I am the all-wise and powerful Twitch chat. While he's thinking, let me just... Alright. Wait, what happened? Wobbly?
I'm just laughing.
Okay, so one of the shards from the stone that you pulverized, Connor, like, at freaking Mach 10, it just implants itself right in his eye, and he completely loses function of his right eye.
Oh no, you should get that checked out, man.
And he is screaming, so that means he's lost depth perception. That is actually a lingering wound, and I'll let you know when it's relevant. I was gonna take one of them. I don't know if I should take both of them. Like, he also recommended something else happen to him, but I don't know if I should take both. There we go.
He just throws his sword into his friend.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I'll even make it so he takes a D4 damage. Here we go.
Aw.
There we go. Yeah.
Not a bad roll.
All right. All right. That was fun. All right. Marlo, it is your turn.
All right. Is there like a back to this wagon carriage?
You can get out the back window.
All right. Just gonna shimmy out the back window, peek around, take a shot at this guy. The good old-fashioned warlock blast. 18.
All right. So that, like, what are you aiming for?
His other eye.
We're just. Are these guys like all wearing hoods?
Yes, basically.
Yeah, we're trying to like just blast his hood off, you know, to demoralize them. But his hood's on his head, so
You're not even in uniform.
All right. So you're definitely trying to aim for his head, but at one point, like Connor in his battle readiness, like he sort of shifts his weight on one side, so you almost like your Eldritch blast, excuse me, almost smacks him in the back of the head. So you kind of have to do like a very quick adjustment and ends up smashing into one of his testicles.
Oof.
Oof.
that is quite the adjustment.
He's
And
like,
you feel a whip happen.
he's holding.
like the good part of you, you know, it doesn't want to go for the nut shot, but your subconscious always goes for the nut shot.
Yeah.
Chaotic part. Chaotic part goes for
In
the-
each of us, there are two wolves. They both go for the nut shot.
Yeah.
And then, so we'll do the nut shot, and then we'll tuck ourselves back behind this thing, this wagon here.
All right.
Gotcha. 1 second, hold on. Let me just see something real quick. There we go. Sorry, I had to adjust something in OBS real quick. Nothing too bad. All right. Marlo, that was your turn. Aiming for Connor once more. Actually, no, that is quite obscured, so he has to kind of shift around a bit. He's going to shift right here and try to aim for you, Connor, with his light crossbow. The guy who just got his balls busted
Yeep.
is going to say, bring this guy down. Oh god. God. Let's see. Nope. That is going to effortlessly ping right off your armor. Like ricochet, totally.
The other guy's
Come
other
on,
test.
Come on, guys.
Guy in the corner is going to say, there's more where that came from. He's going to shoot you once more.
Oh. Ka-ting.
That's
I
my
like
phone
the way that's his reaction
notification,
to it.
so
It-
that's gonna happen sometimes.
It literally happens at always the perfect moments.
Yep.
Always. The guy who's
And
like,
my other
yeah, go on.
my other one is a banjo. So if you hear like or a harmonica, so if you hear like a soulful like, wah, that's why.
The guy who's like barreled over. The guy who's barreled over forward, grabbing his balls, is just gonna say, "Oh, you guys are useless." He is unconscious with his teeth in his lap. Wobbly, it is your turn.
Okay, Wobbly is gonna dart across the road 10, 15, 20, 25, and chuck a dart at this guy. That's a 24 to hit for 4 piercing damage.
Nasty. You're gonna catch him in the hand he was using to load his crossbow. He's gonna
How
rip.
you like them apples?
He's gonna rip it out and say. He's gonna say to you, almost. He's almost gonna spit it out at you. He's gonna say, "I hate apples."
What
No,
about dried tomatoes?
Dried tomato like silently glides towards his face. All right, Connor, it is your turn. RNGesus has not been kind.
Okay, you know what? I want to see if I can grapple the guy in front of me and use him as a human shield.
Uh,
Nice.
grapple with the free hand. Oh, so it's only one hand you need.
Yee.
Oh, I get the grapple condition.
Always drop his weapon too as a free action.
By when? No, I think you've always had your shield stowed, right?
Yeah, no, at the beginning of the round, I dropped my shield so I can use the hammer with two hands.
Yeah, remember he said he doffed it?
Yeah. Okay, so that is it's an athletics contest. Athletics or
All right.
well, it's your athletics against his
Athletics
dex
and
or
strength is the same thing.
yeah, but it's yeah. So yeah,
I'm just gonna go with athletics.
it's against his opposing athletics or acrobatics. So there we go. Oh, I saw the 18, but it just wasn't meant to be.
Ah, good.
All right, he is grappled.
He's grappled. I got him in front of me, just like with one hand, and the other hand still got the hand.
I'd say that's
And I
half.
want-
Yeah, I'd say that's half cover. Sorry.
Yeah, and dragging him with me, I'm gonna move closer to the other two bandits.
It's the riot shield.
Yeah,
The
pretty
riot
much.
shield.
Yeah. All right. Right here is.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, that's about as far as I can go. So there.
It's fucking Connor's playing Rainbow Six.
Trust me, it's gonna be great.
Flashbang out!
Alright. He's going to try to free himself from his grapplage.
Okay. Another contested strength or athletics, whichever.
I think. Yeah. It's just it's another contest. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is. Oh, that's a saving throw. I'm sorry. Hold on. It's the same roll. Yeah, it's the same roll, so it doesn't really matter. But
Oh, my strength gave out.
yes, he's freed himself. Yeah, you were using the arm that had the bolt embedded into it, so it's a little, you're kind of wincing from the pain.
Like, no, we could have been cool. Well, I could have been cool. You would have been dead.
Marlo, it is your turn.
All right. So this guy, I'm gonna peek around. This guy broke free. Marlo's just gonna blast him because that's the guy he can easily hit. So that guy right in front of Connor, we're gonna try and zip him. Well, we're certainly gonna try.
Definitely.
All right, so 7 probably misses. And then with our movement, we're gonna go tuck ourselves behind this tree.
Yes. Alright, he's gonna unsheath his falchion and run over, charging, screaming bloody murder at you, Connor.
Oh, this is no.
They really don't like Connor. Damn.
And that,
That-
without my shield, that meets my AC.
Yes.
So I guess attackers win ties.
Yes, they do. It's meet or exceed.
Okay. I'm down to 3.
Stowing his light crossbow, he's gonna take out a falchion and head on over to you wobbly. He's
Come on.
yeah, he's got a bit of a duelist stance going on, so you can tell that he's possibly a little bit more skilled than his compatriots in melee combat. made evident by his 5.
It's
Yeah.
down to 5.
He says, "How do you like that?" As he swipes you across the arm.
I'll tell you in a second. I'm gonna try to sweep his legs with my quarterstaff.
Let's do it.
It's a 15 to hit. Man, I'm rolling like shit on damage.
He's.
Oh wait, that's not versatile. Anyway, sorry. I could have rolled it as versatile. Okay. Is that 15 hit?
Yep, he is swept. Well, I mean, yeah,
Okay.
you know, you did your thing.
Yeah, cap his knee, and I'll bop him in the nose with a 23 to hit.
You
For another
cause
4 bludgeoning damage.
you cause his this actually. I went to anatomy. Yes, I can remember. I passed it. You punch his xiphoid bone into his brain. There we go. That's supposed
I assume that hurts.
Yeah, that's supposed to kill you, so he's dead. You just see like a stream of blood just like pouring out of his nose, and he just collapses
then-
dead.
I'll start booking it over. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Screaming, trying to get their attention.
You know how to edit your HP on your token, right?
I thought I... Oh, sorry. I thought it automatically updated. My mistake.
No, you click. Yeah, you know how to do it. Alright, Connor, it is your turn.
Okay.
I thought
Oh,
it edited.
I'm sorry. One thing that we are actually doing, I know I'm just adding, I'm just adding rules. No. I just forgot what the rule is exactly called, but it's basically when you like do over damage and you sweep it to the guy next to you.
Cleaving?
Yeah, exactly. We're doing
yeah.
cleaving.
Okay, that's cool. All right. I'm just wondering if at this angle am I able to use my breath weapon?
Yeah.
Is it a cone or a line?
It's a cone,
It's a
so
cone.
no, you'll be only able to get one guy.
Uh-huh.
You can risk the 2 opportunity to actually, yeah, you can risk the one opportunity attack.
Go
if
with
I-
1.
Right here. You know what? My character is foolish, so I'm going to risk it.
Risking it for the biscuit.
Risk it for the biscuit. Yep.
Oh,
Ah,
he's still up!
He's
I
still
lose
up,
on
though.
1 health.
Still up!
He's still up. Oh my god.
It's like, let's kick some ice. Really bad reference. I'm sorry. And my breath weapon.
Oh god.
So yes, they need to do a con save of 8 plus my proficiency plus my something. Let me look this up.
On probably.
Okay. Breath weapon, Dragonborn, 5e. Let's find out.
I can find it for you if you want. I got the.
I'm on the page.
I got it. Okay.
8 plus my con plus my proficiency. So 8 plus
That's 11,
2,
I think?
13. Yeah, 11.
Okay. So the problem is that it doesn't matter if this guy passes, he dies anyway. So
Woohoo!
you froze him solid.
Wow.
This guy might make it out. So let's see. That's a con save, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Damn, he is a hardy feller.
He'll still
Is it-
take half damage though.
Or
I guess four. Yeah, 4.
He's gonna.
Look at the one still standing. Say, your move with blood coming out of my mouth. Your move.
Or, you could go for me, because I'm going to kill you.
Alright. Marlo, it is your turn.
All right.
Well, oh, actually, hold on, Marlo. He surrenders.
Yeah, I was about to accept his surrender, whether he surrendered or not. Like, Marlo comes out from around the tree as he's already, like, laying down his weapon, and, like, using thaumaturgy, he just booms his voice very loud. And he just yells, "On behalf of everyone gathered, I accept your surrender." Oh, Okay, very well.
You did your best. Therefore, no one can judge you. Well, so what are we going to do with this one then? My idea: tie his hands, tie him to the back of the cart, make him walk behind us.
I think we just bop him on the head and leave him here.
What does he think we should do?
Yes.
What?
Would you rather us kill you or bring you into town?
1 second. Ignore this.
What the hell's that guy?
You don't see this happen. No, this is Doran. I'm sorry. I actually.
Oh my god, Doran's huge.
Yeah, I forgot
20
to.
feet tall.
I forgot to bring his token in. But Doran, he hobbles out and he says, "Oh, is it over?"
Yeah, we're good.
And he says,
Let me just, puke my own spleen out here.
and this be the scourge who be attacking our cart.
Yes, well, it is your cart, so I say you decide. You want to bring him to justice? Would you rather us just end the deed?
He says, he looks at him and says, "He been bringing on the wrath of an entire clan, attacking a dwarves' belongings like this."
Ooh, clan.
And he says, then he looks a little sad for a moment because he remembers he got kicked out.
Oh.
And then
So we'll be your clan.
he says, "Where be the rest of ye?" And he grabs him by the neck. "Answer me now!" And the bandit says, "There is no rest of us. We're just travelers. Poor."
You aren't doing a lot of traveling sitting at a fork in the road trying to rob people.
Yes. As someone who is very good at people, does Marlowe believe that there's no more to this bandit?
Roll an insight check.
Let's roll an insight check.
Also, give me one. You can, roll that insight check. 7. Okay, yeah, you
Got a
can't.
solid 7.
You can't really tell if he's lying or not. It's hard to tell. What can I say?
Well,
I believe
I
him.
mean-
Am I able to roll an insight as well, or are we just
Yeah, you can. You all can if you want to.
18?
All right, so Wobbly, you can definitely see through his bullshit. You've known by it's a common theme in this adventure so far that there are organizations of people who wish to do you no good. So he's bound to have some buddies nearby.
Listen, dipshit, do you see that guy over by the carriage whose teeth are in his lap and his knee is up next to his ear? Do you want to wind up like him?
And he says,
Your
"Fine."
frozen friend?
Where are the rest of your buddies?
And he just reaches in his back pocket and throws a map at you.
Okay, I will pick up the map.
I can't drink this.
You can drink anything if you try hard enough.
So the map is right here. Well, it's showing you a place right here. Marked on that
boy.
X.
Are they gonna
Okay.
try? Are they gonna try to hit us if we're heading up to the Abbey?
And he says, "The only place we're supposed to scan is this fork in the road. We don't do attacks close to the Abbey, because we don't want to give out our position."
Good
So
to know.
you gave us a map that we can give the Abbey that gives away your position.
I believe it's because he didn't want you to put his leg next to his ear.
Ah, yes. I did
Yeah.
threaten that, didn't I?
You did, and he conceded. So, no harm, no foul. Nobody died. I mean, well, nobody we
Well, a few
know.
people died.
No,
Yeah.
nobody important, at least.
Well, not be important to us. Might have been
And-
important to him.
What's the
yeah.
difference?
Marlowe will like reach up and take the paperback from where he tucked it into Connor's armor and put it back in his component pouch.
Yeah.
Dee-doo-doo.
Hey, can you
was
teach me
pretty nice.
how to do that?
Teach is a strong word. You could provide years of service to someone who could provide these sorts of boons. And by years, I mean many.
You mean I gotta earn it?
Well, yes, everyone
Oh,
has to
screw
earn.
that. Okay. What's the plan here? Are we just heading back onto the Abbey, or? I mean,
I say we go to the Abbey, take this guy prisoner. Grab him by the scruff of the neck, just in case he tries to run. Like, you're not going anywhere.
He says, Doran says, hey, Wobbly, my good lad, why don't you get the extra tight and rough rope for this scum?
Ooh, kinky.
yeah, but I mean, can we? These guys probably don't need the stuff that's on them. We should probably take a look at that first.
Oh, of course, yes, indeed.
You guys do that. I'm gonna start tying him to the back of the cart. Kind of like in the beginning of Fury Road, where Mad Max is just tied to the back of the car, following it.
Yeah. Alright, so you guys fetch the rope, the extra rough and tight one, like he said. And
The kink shaming rope.
the rope of kink shaming.
My kink.
Tie him up, and he's obviously looking quite defeated. And he says, I don't care what you do with those scum, but whoever you give that map to, can you promise me one thing?
Possibly.
My brother's in there, in that camp. He got swamped up into this life with me. I just want him alive.
I'll do what I can.
He says, thanks.
Can't make any promises, but I'll try.
We
Like,
would need a name and description of the brother.
He's like definitely younger than him, like only like 15 years old. Blonde hair, brown eyes. He's got a scar on across his face from when the bandit camp leader he dueled him, essentially, like even though he was a young lad. It's a sort of
Fair.
initiation ritual.
Fair enough. I mean, no killing children. Usually a mainstay rule, but if that sort of thing has to be explicitly stated, then yes, we'll try not to have your brother killed.
Yeah, I feel like being anti-child murder is. I think that's a good policy.
It's a strong position. It's looked upon favorably here.
Yeah, I would say that it's relatively well accepted around this neck of the woods.
All right. Okay. Good. Good.
Okay.
I'm trying to blend in.
All right. You guys not only won the encounter, but you got some loot. And like I said, I am doing until level 3. I'm doing a sort of well, at level 3 we're gonna do a more slowed down version of the campaign, obviously. So but until then, I'm gonna be kind of accelerating the XP gain to see we get to the cool parts of D&D faster. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So you guys get 67 XP each. You got that map. I guess the total valuable stuff that you do get is a wooden bead necklace. Actually,
Am I okay to? Sorry to interrupt. Am I okay to type this in the loot chat?
I'm actually about to do it right now.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm just gonna copy and paste all of it. There we go. But yes, they had on them 3 rations. Like you were able to salvage 1 light crossbow. They had you were able to salvage 3 falchions. They had 6 crossbow bolts left. They have their 2 backpacks, and a total of 3 silver and 9 copper. They also had a wedding ring and a wooden bead necklace, like I said.
So a silver and 3 copper each, if we want to split it down the. Oh, hey, Doran, I'm assuming we're not. We get all profits from any kind of incursions along the way. That seems fair.
No, he says.
You know what? It's only like what 3 copper and a silver. Give him mine. I just necklace.
He says, no. You keep your loot, lad. I've had money once. I have some, but don't you worry about me.
Ah, yes, I've never not had money.
All right. Well, yeah. I look at the bead necklace like it is pretty nice. Put it on.
Little puka shells.
Am I pretty now?
Yes, you're the prettiest princess in all the land, Connor.
Yay.
Alright. So, Doran's gonna say, if we can abstain from any more interruptions, I'd... And he's gonna angrily glare at the El Bandito over here. He's gonna say, I'd like to get on with our adventure.
I second that. I
Sounds
need
good to
a
me.
break.
Alright. So onward to Longway Abbey, and then we shall end it.
I guess if we're on our way to Abbey, I guess that's enough for a break, right?
Are we
yeah,
taking
yeah.
a short rest or a long rest? Or it would be a short rest, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah, short rest for sure, yeah.
I'm just
Gonna
use
spend
use
my hit
die.
die.
The bandit introduces himself as Clayton.
So Clayton, how did you and your brother get tied up in this?
And he says, we were press ganged by Ulker's men. We're not even actually from here.
Wait, so you actually work for Ulker?
And he says, yes.
Ah, shit.
Chance...
You gonna notice?
Sorry, go on.
Is he gonna notice that you're not out doing work anymore?
And he says, well, maybe, but I wouldn't worry about it if I were you. I mean, we die by the handful every now and again from a raid that goes wrong. Ulker doesn't care. None of this matters. None of what you do to us or any of the bandit camps that are around here, the dozens throughout this entire blasted realm, matter. Well, none of the things that you do to them matter either. He says, don't believe anything that anyone says. Chances are that if there's a bandit in these woods or in these lands, it's belonged to by Ulker. They are belonged. Jesus Christ, I must be tired. They belong to Ulker.
That sounds like a terribly dreary life that you lot lead here.
He says, this land has changed. I mean, I was only born into it, but from the stories I've heard, it was never like this. Not before the...
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, but now it is. Sometimes things are good, sometimes things are bad. That's just how the world works.
So all of you were coaxed into being, or like persuaded, like maybe more threatened. I guess threatened into being bandits, or like are there actual true-blooded bandits that didn't mind this line of work.
You see, every reaver in these parts is in love with Ulker because he lets them do whatever they want, but only to people that he doesn't like. Let's say we were to trot off on the beaten path and go make a hit on a nice and juicy caravan. Well, if it's not protected by Ulker, then we get off fine. But if it's one of the ones that Ulker has a particular fondness for, then, well, let's just say we disappear.
Mm-hmm. What were you before this? Before being forced into criminal servitude, as it were.
Well, same thing that every young and capable young man is in this world.
A
I was.
prostitute. I
Does that
No?
mean does that word mean something different here?
Oh,
Oh no, sex.
Whoa, wait. What does it mean to you, Marla?
Well, you see, there's an exchange of money, and in return, two individuals, or sometimes more, but generally two individuals, will engage in private affairs of the physical nature, not to be too coarse.
Oh, we call those
Hugging with great passion.
we call those ambassadors around these parts.
Oh, okay. See, I understand now. There's a bit of a mix-up linguistically.
Yeah.
um, but the Clayton says I was a soldier. Well, my Baron, well, he didn't have a particular fondness for Ulker. Way, way north of here. He, well, he abstained from taxing his people for his ridiculous parties and expanding his already swollen army, and decided to make a stand with the lands that he lorded over. He figured, so long as he stockpiled enough weapons and food, that he'd be able to withstand any siege that Ulker sent his way. But Ulker, he has a way of ruining everything you've worked for. And we did stand against this. Well, we were put under siege by his forces, and we didn't last. Not nearly as long or as well as my lord had hoped for. His men saw something in me, and after they had slaughtered my family, well, everyone except my brother, he decided to press gang me into his services, lest he'd slit my brother's throat. And so I live this life mainly for him now, for his sake.
God damn it, I was such a pushover. Okay, what's the new plan?
What do you mean? What's the new plan?
I feel bad for the guy. He doesn't deserve prison for protecting his brother. You know, I feel like if we can get him and his brother out,
You're like,
find a place far away from here, and just help them out, and then we can go back to the bandit camp and slaughter the rest of them. That's when I was only half.
I'm a little confused how this bandit camp is an us problem. Okay, like, look.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, Tim. You're a little low.
I'm low. Can you hear me now?
No, it's kind of quiet and a little fuzzy.
Oh, no. I'm not really sure. Is this hello?
It's better, but you're still low. Hold on.
The voice. I got not many bars. How about now?
That's better.
That's better.
Okay. So honestly, there's nothing I can do other than keep on repeating. How about now? How about now? But now I feel like if we can help this guy and his brother out of the bad situation, and then let the Abbey know about them, you know, so it's just a more the morally just thing to do.
And Clayton's gonna say, "You really are delusional, aren't you? This whole land
No,
is
I call it
cursed."
naive.
He says, "This whole land's cursed with Ulker's filth."
And how far does his land go?
Oh, let me show you. Everything that's colored red around Morthelm is his land, and you can use the ruler if you want. It's kind of big. It's from farthest end to farthest end. It's like 188 miles.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you noticed or not, Connor, but I think everyone hates living here. So like, I mean,
I know.
I think the sooner we get this written, we can get out of here, the better. I don't know how much change we're gonna be able to make.
Hey guys, I'm sorry. Really, one quick ass second. I'll be right back. All right.
All
All
right.
right, have fun, stay safe. So, crazy hypothetical question time. If you had to lose one of your senses, which would you lose?
Hmm.
Chappie, don't be afraid to, answer in as well.
I mean, everything would taste weird, but probably smell, right? Because
Yeah.
everything I smell is bad.
Sorry about that, chaps.
I wonder if I'd rather lose my sense of taste though, because like smell is like 80% of tasting.
That's true.
That
Like,
is
have you
true.
ever
lose
stuffed your
taste if you
nose
lose-
and
if you lose smell?
tried to bite like an apple and then bite a potato? They taste the same.
I've never done that.
Yeah, but I live in a house with cats, so like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah, I get that.
it's a factor.
Yeah, I would want to be able to smell my cats too. That's what you were trying to say, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Clayton. Sorry, I just wanted to get back into it. Clayton. He says, listen. If you really want to make a difference, I guess there is something you can do.
I can't speak for these guys, but I'm yours.
Now,
Let me
apparently,
guess. Let me
Sorry.
guess. Kill the Baron.
well, if you guys don't want to get your hands dirty with that nonsense, apparently,
Not right
Ulker's.
now, anyways.
Apparently, what I heard from the leader of my camp is that Ulker is illegitimate. Well, he's the illegitimate heir to the throne. Well, it's complicated, apparently. You see, apparently, and let me get my notes so I can be factually accurately. Oh, excuse me. Apparently, the Ulkers aren't supposed to even be on the Marcher throne. That's reserved to the Geloys. That's why this land is called the Marches of Geloi. It originally belonged to the Geloi family. But I can't remember. It was two or three Ulkers ago. Ulker's father, I think, inherited it from his father, so that would make him Martin Ulker III. Apparently, it was
Definitely is interesting.
apparently it was the first Martin Ulker who laid siege to Morthelm and took it from the previous, that most recent Geloi. I can't remember his name, but well, the main point is that there's someone out there who's trying to reclaim the throne.
Oh.
I don't know his name, but
No.
and I wish I could be of more help, but that's all I've heard. If you can find him, maybe there's something you can do for him. But honestly, it's why even waste your breath? Tyrants come and go. It's just the way of the world.
Well, if we did, at least we could say we tried, but we'll probably have to put that on the back burner right now. We got we got some other pressing matters. So this is just, but it's definitely a good idea. I'll have to, like I said, can't speak for these three, but I will take your suggestion. Take it right there. Put it in back pocket. Use it for later.
Let's
Doran,
see what happens.
and Doran says, "Oh, lads, he's right about that last bit. Tyrants come and go. If you spend your whole life seeking out tyrants, you'll be waging an endless war. These people should know better. They shouldn't have let this madman get into the throne. Yeah, I see if it were up to the dwarves. No. We spare no tyrants. Heads roll before we go under a tyrant's leadership."
Your dwarves sound like my kind of people.
And he says, well, when you live in such close proximity with your people, as, in a hold, you better hope that you get on their good side.
That's a good point. So yeah, so what is the what? So I'm guessing we're traveling right now as we speak.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the plan? What are we going to do with this Clayton guy?
Alright, well, Dorans thinks that, he says, the people of Longway Abbey are all friendly like. Apparently they can't turn down anybody who's in need. Maybe they'll even send someone out to clear out this bandit camp or whatever.
Maybe he isn't a bandit. Maybe he's a sick guy we found along the road.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Oh yeah. So maybe we should be having a walk behind them. I'm gonna start pulling on the rope. Like get. I guess we Do we want to let him in?
I don't know. He looks kind of like he'd slit our throats if he got the chance.
Yeah, but he'd only get one of us.
Grows 3 arms. He's a mimic. He's a bandit. He's mimicking a bandit.
Oh my god.
I'm all for helping people, and his story is moving. But on the other hand, if we help him, does he not just return to this life because he has no other choice? If he hates this land so much, he should have left. And you find opportunities to slip away.
And
I think sometimes life presents you with some big choices that you have to make. And it feels like to me we're forcing ourselves to make a choice here. Why don't we let the Abbey deal with him? We'll tell him that he was a sick traveler along the road that we picked up along the way, and live and let live.
Let's see.
Can't fix everything.
Okay. But what to do about his brother? That's the one thing I'm wondering about. Maybe we could get the Abbey to clear out the camp, but agree to spare his brother.
Or
I like ors.
Brilliant.
We
get the Abbey to pay us to clear out the camp.
Okay.
Doran, he looks at you and says, "That's a great idea."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, full of those.
And maybe.
Have you ever thought about having a bottle that has one beer in it, and then inside that bottle is a smaller bottle that has a different kind of beer in it, and then inside that one is a third one that has another kind of beer in it, and then you can open them up and mix them up as you want to? That's probably one of my best ideas, but I've got a lot of really good ideas.
How would
You
you do
are
it?
blowing my mind right now.
Oh.
What if you just took a glass, filled another glass with the other liquid, dropped that glass into the larger glass? That would be easier.
That's an explosive idea. It's like a bomb.
Right, well, I'm not exactly a inventor, but so I like to give it a shot.
It makes it right now. But Doran says, "I could possibly get my medical supplies for free if we succeed."
And a little to boot for us.
Yeah, a little boot and a little loot.
He says,
And you get to feel all good inside.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a nice feeling. Helping
It
people.
would be a good deed, as far as I know.
So wait, Clayton, what's your brother's name again?
his name is Darius.
Darius and Clayton. Okay. All right then. I like this idea. Bring him to the Abbey. Get the Abbey to give us a job. And okay.
All right. Fantastic. Okay. So like I said, I wanna.
Outside game. It's actually kind of getting a little late, so I was thinking, is it okay if we 10 minutes?
Yes. So I just want to get you guys to the Abbey, do like a very quick exposition with it, and then just that's it.
All right.
Okay. So you guys travel the rest of the way. Doran kind of always, does a double take over on the left side when he's looking towards the forest that's apparently has the bandit camp in it, but he's apparently this Clayton's word holds true. They're only tasked with watching out on that fork in the road, and you guys are completely undisturbed.
Okay.
All right, you guys reach the old hallowed walls of a Longway Abbey. There to greet you. Well, the first people who greet you are farmers and other people in like small cabins on the side of the road, who like wave to you and say, and who say things like, "Long way bless you," and
Aw.
they say things like, "Travelers welcome," and other very kind words such as that.
I will
And
say stuff like "grow well and prosper." I don't know how to greet farmers. I don't know how to greet people.
you are again greeted, flanked on both sides of the entrance of the abbey by a pair of warrior monks. They are brandishing. They have wooden swords, which is interesting, but are garbed in full plate. Like it's basically they have
Heavy metal monks.
yeah, they have robes on that are with plate mail essentially over them, but they have no hood or helmet on. Their faces are completely bare, or rather, their faces are open, so you can see exactly who they are.
Okay.
Doran says, "Greetings. We are here seeking shelter, and we wish to do business with the abbot of this abbey." And the warrior monks order the door to be opened, and they say, they say to you all before they open, and say, "Next time, you need only ask to enter Longway Abbey.
Well,
We
thank you.
we refuse no one. Please enjoy your stay."
Oh, you guys were right about their hospitality.
He says,
Super nice.
Doran says, "I know it's strange, isn't it,
Mm-hmm.
to expect to be treated
I've
poorly."
heard of people who act this way. They're a rare species of person. I think are called Canadians. It's weird, man.
But the lovely silence and serenity of the abbey is broken by a set of booming voices and arguments in the courtyard. Like there's a little staging area for coaches and other wagons, and then you get to like the courtyard proper where there's like fountains and ponds and benches and stuff like that.
Mm.
Give me 1 second, sorry. One second. there's a group of men who are dressed similarly like Clayton, and as soon as Clayton notices them, he tugs on the rope and he looks at you. Whoever's holding it, I guess it would be Connor.
Mm.
He looks at you, Connor, and says, "Hide me, please. Hide me
Okay.
from them."
I pretty much just like reel him in like a fish and just grab him by the like scruff of the pants, just drag him into the cart. Is that good?
He says, "Yeah,
I throw a
yes,
cloak over him.
yes, thank you."
Yeah. Marlo will like minor illusion, just like a crate in like that area or whatever, like a box, just
Oh,
over
that's
top
even
of
better
him.
than a cloak.
Yeah, something to obscure him.
Yeah.
And Doran's gonna be like, "What's going on, lad?" But the sound of the arguing is just gonna get louder, and more obnoxious. You guys can't really make out what. Well, I mean, do you want to try to listen to what's going on?
Yeah, I'd like to just as they're passing, just like get a few, see what
Sure.
see if I can tell from a few sentences.
Okay, so I'll just tell you what's going on. Well, tell you essentially what they're saying. So these men dressed somewhat like Clayton are talking to these men in brown robes with like rope belts around their waist. One who looks astoundingly old, or older at least. And 1 second, hold on. Okay. Okay, so there's a man in full and head to toe in full like battered full plate. It looks reasonably well decorated, and emblazoned on his chest plate is what looks to be a set of hands in prayer. There's a man who is in quite ornate-looking robes, like they're decorated with like those prayer kind of seals, like those seals on. He's got this. He's basically got like this what looks to be like a wooden sign hung around his neck, and all on like over the sign, quote unquote, is like these wax seals that have been stamped on it, and these pieces of paper that are streaming down on it with like very small writing. And he's got a book in his hands, like a very large book. And that man specifically is just unabashedly like swearing and like exclaiming like, "You'll never come here and you'll never take what's ours," and saying things like, "Tell Oka he can," using more expletives.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing they end off on is the head of this group of men. The head of this group of men that looks like Clayton, I'd say, like I guess the bandits, quote unquote. He says, "Listen, everyone has to pay the tithes to Martin Olker, and you guys aren't exempt from it." And the older man in the robes, he says, "Oh, but we are. Our oaths to this land hold true no matter what the ruler is, and you best take heed to respect them. Now out of my abbey. You've disturbed the peace, and peace is the highest orderly here. If you will not uphold the highest orders, I must ask you to leave." And they leave with a huff, and the leader says, "Moriarty, your wisdom and peace will not keep you safe for much longer. Oath or not, all must pay the tithe. We'll be back." And he scurries out.
Look over to Clayton and say, "Oh, friends of yours?"
He says, "That was the leader of the camp. What is he doing here?"
Demanding tribute by the looks of it. I've had to collect tribute every now and then, but it was a lot more civil.
Uh, a group of armed warrior monks with their wooden swords shore up the gate behind the bandit camp leader, close it, and stand guard once more. And the old man, his looks to be his sort of sergeant, and the other man in decorated robes come up to you, and they say, "Orderlies." Well, the older man, within his robes, say, as he says to you, with his hands in his sleeves, bowing very slowly and rising up very slowly again. He says, May the orderlies bless you, travelers. I've never seen you. Welcome to Longway. Excuse me. My name is Abbot Moriarty. This is head custodian Alphonse." And he waves his hand to the man with the very special robes.
Well, thank you for your warm hospitality. Well, is there a title you would like it to refer you to, or?
Sorry, one second. I accidentally closed out my notes.
Oh no.
I actually wasn't done. I'm sorry. I had misclicked away from them, so I had to go get him again. He was actually going to introduce also the guy in the armor. He says, "And this is the Watchmaster Cletus."
Greetings to both of you. Both. Yes, Connor actually makes that noise. He gets nervous meeting new people, so it's like, you may call me Connor. This is Marlowe and Wobbly, and our employer Durin.
And Doran, he just sort of waves and says, "Be looking like you folk are having some problems with bandits." And the abbot says, "Oh, bandits? No, no. Those aren't bandits. Those are just more of Ulka's excisemen. You see, I suppose I will only indulge you with a short story before letting you relax amongst this most hallowed place. It seems that Ulka has decided not to take seriously our oath here. You see, many, many, many long years ago, in the days of I believe it was the third Geloi to ever rule these lands, this abbey was formed with the sole purpose of protecting travelers and anyone sick and in need of care. We uphold a strict regimen of peace in hopes that the world will shape itself around our wishes, and that is for all to live happily and comfortably, despite the circumstances of their birth and the nature of their current circumstances. So know that all those, including yourselves, who wish to come to Longway Abbey shall not be turned down."
Thank you. This is never met hospitality like this, so I'm quite humbled.
And he says, "Now, there's only one caveat to this, and that is that we asked you to leave your weapons and other means of harming others at the door, at the proverbial door, essentially."
What am I supposed to cut off my hands? Like,
He is the weapon. Completely understandable.
Other than that, there is of course no brawling, roughhousing, all that other stuff,
this place. Sorry, what were you saying?
We like to keep a strict regimen of peace and orderliness here in Longway. So, peaceful, orderly. I'm sure you can all appreciate such things.
We will not disappoint. Well, I'll try anyways.
Yes. You don't need violence to have a good time.
No. But it sure does help.
And a large bell in the center of the courtyard starts tolling. And, well, in the center of the courtyard is essentially what looks to be some sort of a chapel of sorts. Or the abbey proper, I'd say. Ah. It is dinner time. Won't you all join us?
Yes.
Yes, I can eat.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope they have tomatoes.
Fantastic.
There's the tagline.
Doran, he sort of wobbles over after essentially, parking, quote unquote, his carriage and giving his the animals some oats and whatnot. He goes on to his spiel about business and whatnot, that he's come to do business and he needs some stuff done and all that good stuff and whatever. And the abbot sort of shushes him away and says, after dinner, because dinner's important.
Mm.
And
After dinner, would you like me to talk to him about the nasty business with the bandits who work for Ochre and disposing them? I was prostitute in my past life.
he
Oh, really
says,
great.
the abbot says, "Oh, were you? Then worry not. We will not turn you away no matter what your lifestyle."
That's
Thank you.
that's very kind to hear. I just, hope that I can bring a little bit of wonder to the world. This whole place is, I mean, not here specifically. Here is so far less dismal than everywhere else, but overall it's just been quite unpleasant and droll. The entire, just even the land feels sad.
This land has seen better times. But let us put away our worried faces and instead stuff them with...
My shit. Fixed it.
He says, let us put away our worried faces and instead stuff them with apple cobbler.
Ooh. Haven't one of you guys never had apple? I thought someone didn't have apple. Maybe that's just me.
Bandit that I killed.
Oh,
How do you like them apples? He said, I hate apples. And then I killed him.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Look over to Clayton.
look.
Like, what's your opinion on apple?
He says...
Ooh, apple cobbler, rough what rough break.
He says, I'll eat a moldy shoe. I'm starving.
Okay, well, I think they got much better than moldy shoes. So you're in luck.
Maybe clean shoes. And he sort of laughs.
Just gotta boil them first.
High in fiber.
All right. You guys sit down with the abbot staff and all of the people that they have, tending to, like, because it's basically like a big old triage area. They offer healing and peace and comfort and companionship and stuff like that. A warm bed and a hot meal, all that good shice. And
I casually just freeze everything I'm about to eat with my breath, like, delicious.
This crunchy turkey leg.
Really though.
He gives you a bowl of grapes.
Ooh, no, oh, dude, grapes in real life, frozen grapes are amazing. So.
No, unironically, yeah.
I know Connor is very excited with the possibility of.
All right. So, you guys had yourselves a meal, and I guess we'll end off with there.
Right.
What's his name? Abbot Moriarty says that you guys will discuss business in the morning, since he figured he wouldn't have been as hungry as he was, but he's had his full and he's quite tired. So he offers you all a bed, and free of charge, of course.
Wonderful.
They aren't the greatest beds. In fact, they're communal bunks, but beggars can't be choosers. All right.
Well,
fantastic
very much. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Next time.
All right.
Maybe in maybe 3 or 2 weeks, maybe. We shall continue this wonderful. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, we'll continue this wonderful adventure and do more Dungeon Attack Squad live. Thank you all for watching.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Bye bye.